football player, Dak is the better quarterback. Acho, which quarterback would you rather build around, Dak or Lamar Jackson? And if you, let's get ready for war. Say it. Say it.
You put me between a rock and a hard place because you have created the narrative that I'm a hater, antagonist of Dak and Lamar.
You helped in that narrative.
I did a little bit.
A little bit.
I'd rather build around Dak. But it's no indictment on Lamar. Hear me out. I've been looking forward to this topic all day. If you just clicked in, do not click off. I'd rather build around Dak, and it's not Lamar's fault. Here's the issue. Lamar's unique ability to run a 4-3, to run a 4-4 at the quarterback position, I would be so captivated by that that it would be impossible for me to convince myself and, more importantly, management to ignore that.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'd be looking at Lamar and I'd be so enthralled by Lamar's ability to run that I would actually do a disservice to Lamar and a disservice to the team because I wouldn't worry about his passing ability. Marcellus, I was thinking about this morning. You harp on this often.
I do.
The curse of the gifted.
Yes. There we go.
The curse of the gifted. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he shoots 60% from the free throw line. Why? Because he can get away with it. Because he can still drop 40 points in back-to-back finals games and 13 and 12 rebounds in back-to-back finals games because he's so gifted. If Giannis was 6'4", you better believe his free throw percentage would be much better. You better believe he'd have an outside shot because he'd have to work on other skills.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson, because he is so gifted, you don't look at him and say, man, we got to build talented receivers around him. Man, we have to develop a talented passing offensive attack. Because at the end of the day, you can still go 13-3, Ravens. You can still get to the playoffs and win a playoff game doing what you do. However, I would take Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's more limited, which would make me have to put more around him, which would make me have to build a better team, which would make me have to put more functionality around Dak Prescott. So it's a backwards way of thinking, but I'll end it in reality form because everybody can rock with this to some degree. When you get with the super attractive woman or when you get with the super attractive man, you don't care about their personalities as much. You don't care about what kind of family they came from. You're not as focused on their intellectual capacity because you're so enthralled by their physical appearance and their physical attributes. So you get a year into that relationship, dating or marriage, and you realize, man, I probably should have focused more on some of the other important details. I would be so captivated by Lamar Jackson's physical attributes running a 4.3 40 that I wouldn't worry about developing some of the other important details. And not only has that happened to me, it's happened to Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. It's happened to Harbaugh, the head coach. So that's why I would pick Dak.
Man, you had me until you didn't have me, and you didn't have me long. It's Lamar Jackson. And you know I love me some Dak Prescott, but golly, Lamar Jackson. Backwards way of thinking, you're right. You do have a backwards way of thinking. Your backwards way of thinking was, I'm going to build a team with the lesser players so I can have more to build and resources for the other good players. I ain't building my team that way, homeboy. I'll build my team with the better quarterback. And you know who else had a backwards way of thinking? This executive, this anonymous executive who says, well, Lamar's the better all-around football player, but Dak's the better quarterback. You know he lying. I don't know why he lying and he's anonymous. You know why? Lamar only plays quarterback. How the hell you know how good he is at any other thing but playing quarterback? And he plays quarterback better than Dak. And Dak, damn it, when I see you, you better give me a hug. But I love me some Lamar Jackson. Let's just compare them statistically and just see a little head-to-head, shall we? And let's go since 2019, because I could go all the way back and it really gets ugly. So I'm trying to give Dak a little help. 24-6, 800 win percentage for Lamar. Oh, Dak, you under 500. Come on. Now, Dak should outscore him, right? Because he got Greg Roman. Lamar Jackson, you know, he be limited. He had that bad public school with that bad principal, Greg Roman. And, look, he ain't got some good classmates. Hollywood ain't that good. And he still outperforms him in points per game, 32-28. How about touchdown to interception? 62-15 versus 39-15. Wait a minute. I give you 62 touchdowns and only 15 picks. And then this dude only get 39 and 15 picks. passer rating. Let's just add it all up. Marcel, you're talking too much. You got spit coming out your mouth. I don't understand what you're saying. 106.6 versus 99.7. If Dak is the second highest paid player in NFL history, you want to know who should be the number one? I already know Patrick Mahomes out there with that bad contract. It should be Lamar Jackson, because head-to-head, Dak Prescott doesn't hold up to what Lamar Jackson is.
You're right. Nothing.
Okay, good.
I'm not disagreeing with you that Lamar Jackson is a better player. I'm not disagreeing that Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback. Here's the problem. Here's what you're ignoring, Sal. What you're ignoring is what no Ravens offensive personnel person can ignore. Lamar Jackson's ability to run has been an inhibiting factor to the Baltimore Ravens, and it's not his fault. You've been in locker rooms, Sal, where you see a phenomenal pass rusher. As a result, they don't make them play the run. They're such a good pass rusher that they're like, you know what? We'll get gashed. You just make sure you get off the ball. Yeah, they're going to give you 20 sacks a game, but they're also going to allow 20 sacks a season, but they're also going to allow 20 first downs a game on first down just because they're running the ball right at them.
Okay.
I used to hear, I think it was, who was that great pass rusher for the Falcons? Jonathan Abram?
Oh, yeah, I played with Abraham.
Dude was a dude.
Abraham, you talking about Jonathan Abraham?
Yeah, Jonathan Abraham was a dude.
All that.
And I used to remember that his mantra was, stop the run on the way to the quarterback.
Yeah, I know a few guys like that.
Try to be a linebacker behind a guy who's stopping the run on the way to the quarterback. Somebody stopping the run on the way to the quarterback is somebody that's not stopping the run. They're just on the way to the quarterback. With that being said, it's the same parallel I'll draw. So Lamar Jackson is such a captivating runner that you look at him and you're like, you know what? We don't have to worry about the passing game. We don't have to worry about developing you as a passer. We don't have to worry about building around you because you're still pretty good as a runner. You've already won MVP. It's the same thing with Giannis, which you just spent the last 20 minutes telling me bottom 4% all time in playoff history outside the paint. Worst free throw shooter all time in playoff history of somebody averaging more than 20 points. He's still a two-time MVP. Lamar Jackson's still a unanimous MVP. But because of how talented they are, you overlook some of the flaws that you're not allowed to overlook with players that are less physically gifted. That's why with Dak, I can't overlook his flaws, and I have to build a better team around him.
Man, this backwards way of thinking is going even farther back. What are you... Beep, beep, stop. Beep, beep.
But it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
How?
Unless NFL evaluators and coaches are that dumb.
They have been, Greg Roman.
Some are bad, and some are not the smartest. But that dumb? You so fine, young lady, that I don't know and don't care how smart you are. That's what they try to tell me. You trying to tell me that's what they thinking about Lamar. You can run so fast, I don't know how well you could throw. Oh, yes, you do, because I led the league in passing touchdowns.
Worst passing offense the last 2 years, and least passing yards, most rushing yards. They are overlooking it.
Well, look. He is handicapped. He is limited being there. Like I said, he's at that badass school where, look, they don't have the resources and they're not applying themselves with the resources that they have. Greg Roman, 8 years as an offensive coordinator, every single year, top 10 in rushing offense, bottom 10 in passing offense. Lamar Jackson is acting a donkey in a system that doesn't want him to act like he does. Woo! Patrick Mahomes, highest win percentage we're talking about. Who's second to him? Lamar Jackson. Goodness. We're talking about a dude right now who is the first in NFL history, 7,000-plus passing yards, 2,500-plus rushing yards in his first 3 NFL seasons. And you want to go with a guy who's limited because you can build around him. Build with the best, and then you will get the best results.
If I was up here with somebody who was less mentally adept to handle this concept, I would let it slide and we could go to break. But you are not that individual. Dak's last healthy season, you have the number 2 passing offense. You have the number 5 rushing offense. Because Dak isn't good enough to step on anybody else's toes. Dak does his job. He just sits there, he passes the ball. He tried to run the ball last year, he got hurt. His last healthy season, number 2 passing offense, number 5 rushing offense. Zeke, you do your job, I will do mine. Lamar Jackson is so good that he steps on other people's toes. Last passing offense, but the best rushing offense. Lamar Jackson is the best running back on his team and the best quarterback on his team. You went to a Nigerian wedding a month or 2 ago.
I did. Shout out to Dilly. Shout out to the
couple of them. And what you know about Nigerian weddings, because Nigerians, we cheap. And so we try to cut costs. I'm telling on us, okay? Talking to my green passports. We try to cut costs. So what we'll do is we'll hire the DJ to also be the MC. So now the DJ got to spin the tracks, but the DJ also got to be welcome in, and he's doing too much. He's stepping on the MC's toes while also trying to be the DJ. Yes, it's efficient. Yes, you can clap for the dude because he's doing two jobs, but at the end of the day, you'd rather have somebody who has finite job descriptions because it leads to more success collectively. Cowboys had the #1 total offense in Dak's last healthy season.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson had the #1 rushing offense in his last healthy season. Because of Dak's limitations, you're forced to make everybody else greater. Lamar's so good that you just lean on Lamar to his own demise.
So you're telling me a bad system is the reason why you want to take the worst player, when that's not the way you should want to build your team. I'm giving you the power, and you saying I'm going to do it messed up because Baltimore messing it up. That's not the way you should answer this. But I give you some of that Nigerian point because shout out to Darian, my family, and Dilly. Dilly's the Nigerian one. He did DJ his own wedding for a little